Conflict of interest. If you want to understand why there's so many lies going on, it's because there's so much conflict of interest going on. You want to see a politician? Why do politicians have so much money if they don't really get paid to do their job all that much? I mean, I've gone on the internet and seen how much these politicians get paid. It ain't that much money. So how come they're so friggin' rich? I talked with one politician, as I knew for a fact that my ex-husband, trying to get out of his child support, was not paying his income tax, and I could prove it. And the corporate company that he was working for also wasn't paying his income tax, and I could prove that. So while I was trying to make my complaints with Revenue Canada, a politician actually told me that us politicians, us MPs, can't go and tell Revenue Canada how to do their job, otherwise we get audited, and he specifically said some of my colleagues are less than honorable. So all we have to do is look at some of these politicians that have way too much money. And I know that, oh, my daughter-in-law's family, who judges me to be a little screwed up, are friends with a really extremely wealthy politician. And it's like, from what I heard, this guy's got yachts, he's got elevators to massive amounts of cars. How did a politician get that rich? Because he had a conflict of interest. Any politician that you know of today is working for or profiting in some way from a corporate entity. So and the corporate entities are owning the news. So anything that a corporate structure is doing to actually harm humanity, you won't hear about it because they own the media. They are not about to tell you what they're doing because it's wrong, and they don't want you to know what's wrong in your world. They'll always blame the little guy that suffers. And one of the things I'm judged about is I am on a welfare system. It's like I stopped fighting the system. I stopped trying to make it work because it was friggin' insane. I stopped being the slave. And it's like, okay, if the whole planet wants to operate from a welfare mentality, I'll be at one with it and see how you like it. I think it's dead wrong. But our corporate structure is nothing but a welfare system. Our corporate structure wants and creates a welfare structure. Because what is a welfare structure? It is about everything that's wrong that the corporate world doesn't want you to know about, but they'll put a lot of propaganda out there to make you think it's one thing, but it actually isn't. And basically, everything that they do that's wrong, every criminal act that they commit does harm to somebody. And after you do enough harm, you cripple somebody to the point where they need to be on a welfare system. So it's like, that has been my biggest fight. I am so totally against this welfare system, the system that pays me every friggin' dollar that I receive. I'm totally against it because nobody wants to look at the exact problems. What was the cause that landed me here? How come nobody's paying attention to that? I mean, if everybody was paying their taxes like I was, then I wouldn't be here. If I actually got paid for the jobs that I did, then I wouldn't be here. But I mean, the mentality that I had to fight abuse and still earn a living at the same time, I'm so sick to death of seeing these single women that are wealthy say, I'm a single parent, as if you've got it rough. You got a hell of a lot of money there that you got no rights to cry the single parent card. It's the single parent that is dealing with abuse that society doesn't want to look at. Why do we have in every friggin' town a homeless shelter, a women's center? Because we don't want to stop crying. Um, I've even offered to volunteer in a women's shelter under the condition that I tell women the truth. Because if you're told the truth, you can protect yourself. You could avoid what's about to happen to you. But I was specifically told if we told women the truth, then we'd lose our funding. So even these women's shelters are being funded by these wealthy corporations to pat themselves on the back saying, yeah, I know I've done everything wrong, but let me put a little bit of funding into everything that I've caused that's wrong. And it's like, get rid of the friggin' system. Make sure that there is no welfare system. Solve the problems that create the welfare system. As soon as you just say, okay, I'm not going to fund it, then you get everybody homeless, and it's like, that ain't the way to go. I mean, I am on a welfare system for the rest of my life. If I plan on living another 50 years, then you know what? You're still giving me all that money, but instead of giving it to me slowly, give it to me fast. I can do something with that money. I can fund my own business. I can fund something that actually puts a lot of other people employed, doing something that they love doing, not working for me, but working for themselves. And not through some pyramid type structure where I get the wealth, but where I can earn my own living in a fair economic system where I make just as much money as everybody else makes. Not rocket science. It's a possibility. It's there, but we don't seem to want it. So it's I'm going to put a link to a video that I seen from somebody that I subscribe to about mainstream media. It is our corporate structure. It is our insanity to be the smartest, to be the wealthiest that is doing this to ourselves. Every single one of us wants to get a good education. Every single one of us wants to be successful at some type of job. But our concept of success is measured by how much money you have in your bank account. You know, the ones that are the stupidest, the ones that are lacking the most, are the ones that have the most stuff, because they're lacking love. They don't know how to get love in their life. The only way they can get love in their life is with as much stuff as possible. So the more stuff you have is a reflection of how much lack of love you have, not only for yourself, but for humanity at the same time. You are friggin' insane. The more stuff you have is an example of how insane you truly are. You ain't sharing the wealth. You're creating a global destruction because you're friggin' greedy. And why are you greedy? Because you need to say you're the best out of everyone. You can't just see that you're the best. You have to have a comparison. And as long as you're comparing yourself to something else, it's the only way you're going to believe that you are worthy of something. And it's like, stop comparing yourself to anything. It's like, just start believing in yourself without a comparison. Then you're smart. Then you're doing something good with society. But that's where we need to head, is, end this type of welfare structure. It is definitely within our corporate structure. That's what these bailouts are. It's a welfare. You're handing out money to get absolutely nothing productive done. Nobody, the way I receive my income is not being productive, yet I can be productive. Do you know something else that I've noticed too? Is these motivational speakers, these people that teach you how to overcome, how to do things correctly. Okay, when you're on a welfare system, you cannot get access to information that motivates you into a better direction. You can't even get good health care. That's when you get limited access to the things you need, not an abundance of everything you need to get off this system. I've gone into some of these corporate structures that think that they can help me get off the system, and they're designed to help you start your own business. Oh, what a great concept! Did I take advantage of that? Yes. Did I phone them? Yes. I want off the system. But the guy that was supposed to come and help me out only showed up like every 2 or 3 weeks. And it took something like 6 weeks just to fill out an application form. That's it. It took 6 fucking weeks to fill out an application form. Now I want to dive in. I want to get to work. I want to get this thing going. I know I have access to some funding to start my own business, but when I asked a question before I signed on the dotted line, the guy asked me, "Do you have any questions?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do. I want to know, this is what I'm going to need, and I don't know if I quite need that, but this is what I'm thinking I need, And can I use that money for this? And this guy refused to even let me ask the question. He refused to even let me have an answer to that question. He kept just saying, that question is mute. It's not important. And it's like, how is that not important? If I'm supposed to start a business, shouldn't I be able to know what I'm dealing with? Shouldn't I be able to design a business plan knowing what it is I have access to? And the guy says, no, you can't control money. You people don't know how to manage money. And it's like, wait a minute. I get next to nothing and I have to manage my household with next to nothing. Pretty sure I know how to manage money. I've raised kids with no money. And they're all alive, they're all doing well, so clearly I know how to manage some money. The thing is getting access to enough money to be able to do something productive. This guy did nothing but motivate me to believe that I shouldn't believe in myself. As he's trying to say, you need to start something, you need to believe in yourself. So it is so freaking backwards. It's like, I can't have you in my house. And this guy literally said, hey, I've helped drowning people before. And it's like, that's when you have to grab them and make sure that they don't have a say, don't do nothing, because I know what's best, let me, and it's like, fuck. I ain't the one that's drowning, bud, you are. And if you start treating me like I'm drowning, you're going to be drowning me with your stupidity. Get the fuck out of my house. If you want to motivate somebody, you don't tell them how stupid they are. You don't tell them that they can't do something. If you want to motivate somebody, you build them up. You tell them how they can do something. You open up communication. Like in this system, I get the lowest form of health care. I even trying to find a counseling for my family, which is definitely causing me pain, that's keeping me stuck, that I need to overcome. And it definitely means that I have to have my family dynamics within this counseling environment. Well, Canada's mental health specifically told me that they can't afford the quality of healthcare that I need. They just can't afford to give me that. So I found some of these private agencies to see if I can somehow find funding to be able to get them, and they're like, no, we don't do that. We cost a fortune for you to be able to get this, and we know that your problem is the fact that you don't have money and you need counseling to be able to know how to get money, but we're going to deprive you of that counseling. And yet in this dynamics, this one organization teaches in university. What they were teaching about society and how society runs and operates and a welfare system, and this agency uses the mindset that they know how to solve social issues while their business is all designed not to solve social issues. It's like, are you freaking insane or what? And then at the end of the phone call, they says, well, we can't help you. And it's like, clearly you can't help me. You need to have a little bit more education to be able to know how to help me. You're too dumb to help me right now. You don't have the skill set to help me. But you're going to just say you can't help me because of the financial thing. And it's like, no, you can't help me because you're not smart enough to be able to know how to help me, which makes you one of the dumbest people on the planet. But by being dumb, you're going to end up earning your money because, people will go to you and learn how to get dumber. Not smarter. You're not going to learn how to psychologically get smarter and do something good for humanity. If you go to these types of people, you're going to be brainwashed into learning on how to do everything wrong in society. And then we're going to wonder why everything's collapsing. It's like, we're so friggin' screwed. And you just have to wake up to, and not, these people that say that they're awake is like, when you're awake, all you know is, oh, we're fucked. And that's your idea of being awake. And it's like, no, that's not what being awake is. Being awake means you are able to define the problem and you actually see what the solution is. As soon as you see the solution and you know what you need to jump into, then you're awake. Otherwise, you're still very much asleep, and you have zero clue of how deep you are sleeping. Every problem is nothing more than a solution waiting to unfold. So solutions are invisible. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. You just got to open your perceptions. Peace out.